Welcome back to the channel, everyone. So today I thought I would take a look at this controversy surrounding Adobe and its Creative Suite that a lot of us use in regards to their recent general terms of use that they came out with. A lot of things popped up when people started reading these terms, and the initial release was a little vague in some areas about licensing, training their AI, scanning your images, having access to your images, and they just recently updated these terms with some kind of grayed out boxes over certain sections to hopefully, I guess, make it easier for us users to know exactly what they're talking about. They also released some kind of cringe-worthy videos on social media with, I guess, some of their might be their legal team reading from teleprompters and trying to address some of this stuff that popped up about these issues, which I just kind of mentioned. So, I mean, I thought I would just take a look at it. It's made me feel real uneasy, considering that this is a large part of what we do in regards to taking images. We go back, I mean, back in the days where you would have basically, you're kind of concepting pre-shoot, you have your shoot, and then you have your developing. And this is pretty much our developing process now, using programs like Photoshop. I also use Premiere for these videos. And there are other Lightroom. A lot of y'all will use Lightroom. So there are not many other options out there currently, or at least that I'm aware of, that I've been actively looking at, but we'll jump to that later in this video, which I hope is short. I don't want to sit here and ramble on about this, but I do want to bring it to the forefront in case some of y'all are not aware about, kind of what is going on. And I have some notes here. So hopefully I can cover the stuff I wanted to talk about. But, going back, Photoshop, I've been using this for over 20 years. Even I was an early beta user in the early, I guess, 2000s for some of their versions. Back when we would actually own the software, you would buy it, I think it was around $600, and you would download it to your computer, or you get the actual disc in, you go pick it up, or however, and you would put it on your computer, and that was that. And then around, I guess, 2012, they switched to this subscription service, which was probably the first step toward, I guess, where we are now with Adobe, where we are monthly paying to access the service. If you quit your subscription, you lose access, and so they pretty much have you hooked at that point unless you have an alternative. There's a lot of time that we all invest in learning this software and using this software, and that's just, it is what it is. And then when a company gets so big, and it seems like they've kind of quit serving their clients, they're more serving, I guess, maybe their stockholders or shareholders, and that's where their priorities are. And I feel like us as photographers begin to feel a little bit disposable, discarded by a company like Adobe. So let's just kind of cover, I guess, some of these terms of services. I'm not going to dive in and read these word for word. That, as I mentioned, they've recently, I guess in the last couple of days, they've come out with reissued terms of service where they added these gray kind of blocks that will give you the cliff notes, I guess, of the certain sections here. But the main things to take away were that they, and this is kind of tough too, so when you can save your images obviously onto your computer, or you can save them to the cloud, and apparently they treat those differently. They will scan the images on the cloud, supposedly not on your computer, and they scan those for potential illegal or abusive style images. Apparently it's an automated kind of system they use, and then if images are flagged, then they'll have someone apparently go in and look at those images. This kind of brings up, I guess, some issues when you're working on a commercial campaign and you've signed non-disclosure agreements or NDAs, and if you are uploading those images to Adobe servers, they have access to those, and they are going to look at those images, and you don't know what's going to flag them. And if they're flagged by their automated process, then they're going to have someone manually look at those images, which I'm not sure then if somehow they publish those or put them out or move those in their company communications. It can just leave you open for maybe a lawsuit based off with your client. if any of those images get out prior to the campaign release. So that's something to be concerned about. And the tricky thing with Adobe, I'm guessing this happens with y'all, is whenever I'm updating the Photoshop, it kind of defaults to saving your images to the cloud. They give you this screen when you go to save your images, and it says, save to the cloud. So they're trying to get your images, I guess, up onto their servers. And I've never done that. I don't use their servers for any of that. And this is now, now that it's been listed in this terms of service, it's another reason not to, in my point of view. Let's jump to where they're training their AI, their Firefly AI, and they say they're not using the images on their servers, but if you use their stock service, the Adobe stock service, they are using those images to train their AI capabilities. And so you are essentially, if you are using Adobe stock, you are essentially helping them train your future competition. So I'm not in that market. I don't do stock images. That'd be a pretty risky place to be right now. And here they are basically telling you that they are using your images to train their AI, and their AI is basically going to be competing against your images. And it's another step in that, here we are. I think they're abusing their relationship with their customers, and they're in a position where they feel like they can, because it is pretty much a monopoly. And if that on its own is not enough, let me click on this. So they've recently come out with these campaigns, and they're really pushing this AI aspect of the software. And this is the most disturbing part to me, where they actually put out a campaign using these images, and even more disturbing is the copy that they put out there with it, where they basically tell whoever's looking at this to skip the photo shoot and generate the background image here with their AI. So when you see that, who are they marketing this to? Obviously, maybe designers. I mean, this would be a policy of undercutting a photographer, or cutting out a photographer from the actual process, creative process here. You just can't get any lower, any dirtier than that, if you ask me. I mean, that really disturbs me. And fortunately, if you play around with this generate background type command in their AI right now, it's not the greatest. So currently, I'm not that scared of it, but as we know, it only gets better with every day. This is as bad as it's going to be right now. But this policy of these types of advertisements for their software undercutting photo shoots, photographers, had kind of forced the ASMP, American Society of Media Photographers, to actually release a letter here, an open letter to Adobe addressing this campaign that they're using. To even take it further, if you look at one of their chief strategy officer, executive vice president, Scott Belsky, I guess, and he's discussing their AI again, calling it, saying, a direct quote here, "This is a revolution. This is the new digital camera, and we have to embrace it." So he's basically saying that their AI is the new digital camera. Another way where they're pushing software instead of actual photographers. They're trying to basically replace photographers with their software, between their ad campaign there and then another executive here giving a quote. And if this was not enough, I guess it was on the 17th here of this month, 3 days ago, the Federal Trade Commission has taken legal action against Adobe for hiding fees, preventing customers from easily canceling software subscriptions. So once again, this is another abusive way that Adobe is treating us, their customers, hiding fees, making you jump through hoops to cancel your software subscriptions. I think they charge you, they basically force you to pay a fee to get out of your subscription if you end it early. So, where does this lead us? I mean, can we hope that with all this going on, people, up in arms about these terms of service, actually knowing now, kind of coming to the realization that Some of their images are being used to train this AI that's going to be actively competing with photographers. And then on top of it, Adobe pushing their AI to replace photographers, replace photo shoots, in a way, I guess, for designers or some of these firms to save money. And instead of hiring photographers, just using their software suite here. I mean, can we hope that they will maybe use this moment to change up their stance on things? I mean, maybe focus more on how AI can help us as photographers, help us enhance our work, our photo shoots, instead of replacing our photo shoots. I don't know. I have serious doubts about that, and it is being, I'm kind of, I guess, guilty to a fault with, I guess, being loyal to companies like Adobe, who I've been using their software for so long. I got so much time invested in that it just feels like a peek behind the curtain, where they have been kind of maybe fooling us or what have you, taking us for a ride and then just leaving us by the side of the road. It's just not a good feeling, and I guess it's time to start looking around at other alternatives to being trapped into a suite like this Adobe software. And that's kind of I guess where we need to start looking. If they can't change their policies the way they're doing business right now, I think that is the only answer. So just want to make this video. If y'all do have alternatives that you've been using that you would like to share with everyone, please drop those down in the comments. I'm going to be looking around in the future. Maybe I'll have some videos on here of software suites that will give us alternatives to photo editing, video editing. Obviously there's some other software out there now. It just is in a way, it's just so convenient to use their creative suite, but do we really want to keep giving money to a company that's going to in turn treat us the way that they're treating us right now? So that's basically what I've got for this today. Y'all, if you feel like this video is worthy, hit that like button, subscribe for more content. I'll be back with more behind the scenes photography based content coming real soon. In the meantime, y'all stay safe and healthy out there, and I will see y'all again in the next one.